And now start, Rosmita.
Okay, sir. Hello, everyone. So today we will be focusing on Jamovi once again. But today our main focus will be on the non-parametric tests in Jamovi, that is Kruskal-Wallis and Manu-Whitney. So I'll just share my screen. Shamastri ma'am, let me know if you can see it, huh?
Yes, visible.
Okay. So this is basically a part of the last class analysis that we were doing with this data. I think you will be familiar with the data. This is the Indian Bangladeshi nationals data that we were working with. So our data is here in Jamovi. So now to move on, we can first go ahead to exploration, check the descriptives. Suppose I want to work with self-awakening and emotional control. I can put them in variables and I can split by nationality code. So over here, we have the entire descriptives of Indians and Bangladeshi nationals and what the number of people who have given their scores, if there are any missing values. We have the mean score of self-awakening, mean score of emotional control, median, standard deviation, minimum, maximum. We can again go ahead and check the range, interquartile range, if there is any kurtosis, skewness. And we can also have the percentiles. As we have already discussed in previously as well, this percentiles will same be reflected in our box plot data that will be shown over here. So for self-awakening and emotional control, these are the box plot for Indian nationals and Bangladeshi nationals, along with our outliers, some of our outliers who are here. Till this, Shamastri ma'am, is it clear? Any point over here where you want me to repeat?
Rosmita, please you add. Rosmita, you please add. That is the independent variable. That is the nominal. And the dependent variable is the continuous. So this
Yes.
is the book form. Another one is the nominal
three
form.
circle. Yes.
Yeah.
So as we know in Jamovi, there are the independent variable is in the book format. Okay. And the dependent variable by which we are splitting it is
No. You're telling opposite. Dependent variable is self-awakening, emotional control. Independent variable is nationality.
Sorry. Yes. So the independent variable is nationality and the dependent variable is self-awakening and emotional control, or it can be any of them. Any of the items for the scale that has been prepared. Okay. So all dependent variables will be in book format and independent variables will be in the 3 circle format. You can see over here as well, under split by, there is a faded image of the 3 circles. Via this, you have to understand that only the 3 circles or categorical variables can be included under the split by category. Okay. Shamastri ma'am, is it okay till now?
It's okay.
Okay. So if you remember in the last class, I was talking about checking normality. Before we move on and we see whether our data is normal or not. And accordingly, based on that, we go ahead and go forward with either parametric or non-parametric. So under the descriptives, we again have Shapiro-Wilk as one of our normality tests. We can simply click on it and it's going to give a p-value. Here we have two different p-values. So for self-awakening, Indian nationality, the p-value is 0.005, and for Bangladeshi, the p-value is less than 0.001. What does this suggest? Can you say? Okay. Since the p-value is extremely low, less than 0.01, we have to understand that the data has significant deviation from normal distribution. That means that data is a non-normal distribution. From here, we understand that for this data set that we have, we need to go forward with non-parametric tests. The very first non-parametric test that we will be doing will be Manu-Whitney. Now we know that Manu-Whitney is the non-parametric version of a t-test. So here we go to t-test, click on independent samples test. Okay. And now in the dependent variable, again, you see we have the book sign. So I can put all of our test items under the dependent variable. Okay, I have put all of them over here. And I want to see my grouping variable on basis of the nationality, like how far the nationality differs in with regard to all the items that are there in our scheme. So again, 3-circle categorical variable is our grouping variable. Now over here, you see that the students t-test has already been ticked. I am going to untick it and I will just simply select Manu-Whitney. Over here, Welch's t-test is also available, but again, as the last class I was saying, that Welch's t-test is only done when there is a difference in the variance. For now, since we're focusing on Manu-Whitney, we'll just click on Manu-Whitney over here, and I have my entire data set available here with regard to each item or each domain of our scale. Okay. Now, here from what I can see is that the Manu-Whitney, to understand Manu-Whitney, we need to understand that if the p-value is less than 0.05, then there is a statistically significant difference between the two groups for that particular variable. Now, is there any value that is 0.05, less than 0.05?
No variable.
None of the variables show a statistically significant relationship then. Since all the p-values are higher than 0.05. Okay. So none of them show a significant relationship. Over here, we have chosen our hypothesis as group 1 not equal to group 2. Okay. If we want, we can change our hypothesis as well. So basically, the hypothesis states that Indian values are not equal to Bangladeshi values, group 1 and group 2, since we have divided the nationality in two groups. Okay, so this is the hypothesis that we have chosen. We can change the hypothesis if required. Now, we can also go for additional statistics. Mean difference can be done. There can be an also effect size that we can check. Effect size would be Cohen's d. And from there, we can also plot group descriptives. The same thing that we were doing in our descriptives over here. We get the group descriptives of each of the domains for each of the nationalities. One is Indian, two is Bangladeshi. Okay. So I have the mean, I have the median, I have the standard deviation, and I have the standard error. Along with that, by clicking on the descriptive plots, I am getting the plots for each of the domains again with regard to self-awakening and nationality code. I have the mean median right over here. I can change the confidence interval if required. Then I have emotional control. I have systematic. Over here, you will see the mean and the median are very far apart, whereas here, the mean median are almost the same. Okay. So this gives a graphical representation of all the domains that we have. Apart from this, we can also go ahead with the QQ plot. Again, it's going to give me a QQ plot for each of the domain items. QQ plot gives us an understanding of where or how our data lies. So if the data lies on the line, we know that the data is a good data. If it deviates severely, then we know that the data is not normal. Okay. Till now, any questions? And sir, would you want me to add anything else to it?
And now two approaches are there. If you want to find out the significant difference, then there is no such significant difference.
Right.
Because there is not the p-value indicates that no difference between the two groups. That is the Bangladesh and the Indians, college students. But if you want to see whether the mean difference is there with respect to the position, then you will find out, yes, that difference is there. Now, if you go to the box plot, go to the box plot. Here you can find out the median position and the mean position. These two things you can see in both India and Bangladesh. That means maybe by looking, we find the mean and the median, the position differs. But with respect to the generalization, we cannot make such comment that Bangladesh and India college students, they differ by the values. Okay.
Chemistry ma'am, okay till now?
Yes, okay.
Okay. Moving on. With this, we have covered Manu-Whitney. We will be moving on to Kruskal-Wallis now. Kruskal-Wallis, as we know, is the non-parametric alternate to ANOVA. So for doing Kruskal-Wallis, we will just simply click on ANOVA. Then there is one-way ANOVA, ANOVA, repeated measures ANOVA, and COVA-MANOVA. These are all for parametric tests. Under non-parametric, we have one-way ANOVA, Kruskal-Wallis. We click on that. Again, just like what we did for Manu-Whitney, all book variables will be going to the dependent variable. I am selecting all the domains of the scale. Along with that, for the grouping variable, a categorical variable, I am going to choose nationality code. Okay. Here I have got the result of the one-way ANOVA. Over here, the one-way ANOVA result clearly states that based on the p-values, again, since the p-values are higher than 0.05, none of them show a statistically significant difference. Okay. The p-value always should be lower than 0.05 for a statistically significant difference to be exhibited. Since none of them show anything close to a 0.05, all of them are greater, there is no statistically significant difference. Along with that, we have the DF values, okay, and we have the chi-square value. Now, with regard, we can also check the effect size right over here. Okay. Now, post hoc tests are used to determine if specific group means differ significantly from one another. Okay. It basically gives a pairwise comparison. We can check it, but since there is no significant relations, I don't think it's going to give a proper value. As you can see, the p-values are none of them are significant. Post hoc tests can be done if any of these p-value is significant. Since none of these are significant, it is quite established that the post hoc p-values will also not be significant. But just to show you all, I went ahead and did the post hoc test. And for ANOVA, there is no such graphical plots as such available. So we can just have a look at this table and understand if there are any significant relations between the variables, and if not, then we'll have a higher p-value. Sir, anything you want to add?
No, since there is no significant difference, we cannot do any other thing.
Yes, sir. Chemistry ma'am, is it okay till now? স্যার আই থিঙ্ক এই দুটোই ছিল আমাদের কভার করার মতন আজকে।
Okay.
জোগাড় করে দিয়ে চলে আসছে।
Okay.
Should I stop sharing the screen, sir?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think there is no question.
Shamustri ma'am is not here. Apart from her, I don't think there are any other students joining today. So, sir, that is it, I think.
Okay, you can close the session and you facilitate our course.
Yes, sir, will do. Shamustri ma'am, I hope there are no other questions.
No, ma'am, it's okay.
Okay. Ma'am, then we will be terminating our session over here for today. And
Okay.
tomorrow we'll continue again. Okay.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you,
Good
sir.
night.
Sir, I'm
Welcome.
stopping
Hello,
the
Farah.
live.
Farah, are you here?